What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. One time for the one time. Back on that YTBC tip, and we back talking about Ward and Kovalev 2, the preview show they did. Just reaction to it, and you know what? I'm gonna cover this Ward Kovalev 2 rematch just as good, or if not better, than I did the Earl and Kell Brook fight. And I covered the shit out of the Earl Spencer Kell Brook fight. I never covered a fight that much leading up to the fight, the week of the fight, after the fight. I never did that. I never covered neither Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather. You know, before I really started this page, I never covered that shit that much. But it got a good response, and I think this fight is fitting to get as much coverage or even more coverage. Even though, you know, let's start off, I called Andre Ward boring, you know, but, you know, that's his style. You know, I'm not knocking him for it. Just thought he can promote the fight a little bit better. But this is me reacting to the preview show. And I'm going to leave the preview show link in the description if you haven't seen it. And basically, it was just, you know, previewing everything leading up to the rematch from what happened in the first fight to what's going on now and going into the second fight, which is June 17th. If this had a real dub for the title, what would it be? Dub, crybaby ass motherfucking Kovalev. That's what it would be called. That's all he did the whole thing was cry and complain and make excuses through the whole show. And he had his supporters make excuses for him. You know, Harold Letterman, so I feel like he did more damage to Ward, and you know, he inflicted himself. At the end of the day, when you're judging the fight, you know, who's scoring, who's not scoring, who's ring generalship, who's boxing, who's landing the cleaner punches. Period. You know what I mean? Kovalev can land one dog ass right hand, and it, you know, it can do so much damage to. it can do a lot of damage to Andre Ward. Okay, but if Ward is outboxing the rest of that round and picking and pecking at him and hitting him and scoring clean, then it's going to Ward's in the judge's eye. So that bullshit ass moniker that HBO has as far as which fighter would I rather be, that's not in the fucking judging the fight. So Harold Letterman is one of the worst motherfucking TV judges. The whole HBO team, I do not like them outside of Roy Jones. And Max Kellerman, he just, I don't like him as well, even on ESPN First Take. But let's get back to the topic of matter. It was basically just Kovalev and his team crying and complaining. And one thing, if you watch it, or if you have watched it, or will watch it, and when you do watch it, you will notice is that John David Jackson said that I was not allowed to speak in that corner, which I told you the other day. He was not allowed to speak. Kovalev brought another Russian coach in there to give him pointers that wasn't even near for the training, the most of the training camp. He didn't even lay the game plan down. So you think that, you know, James Prince and team Andre Ward is lying now about John David Jackson trying to jump ship? Did he initiate it? Absolutely not. He just basically told you there that he's not happy there. That was a cry for help, and he's the bottom bitch for Sergey Kovalev. He's just there to make it like he's friendly with blacks. But basically, it was just, you know, Kovalev team crying, saying what he could have did better. He overtrained. Every excuse in the book. You know, that's basically what this show was. And then you had some people that supported Andre Ward. Then you had some people that said Ward shouldn't have got the decision. And I think Bernard Hopkins was excellent. You know, wasn't picking a side. He doesn't have a horse in this fight, obviously. But you know, it was straight. You know, it was a close fight the first time. And most of what they want you to believe on the HBO side is that Kovalev won, because they love offensive Russian fighters, European fighters. They love offensive fighters. That's what sells. And they're not in the business of putting on what's the best fights in boxing. They're in the business of putting on the best brawls and bloodbaths in boxing. And that's what HBO is really starting to deviate to. But as far as what Andre Ward says, basically like, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's basically like they just put him on the defense. You know, he was supposed to be defending himself on the defense side, but it really wasn't that. He said, you know, I'm not going to apologize, you know, for getting a victory. He said, how did I, you know, get a robbery on all three judges' scorecards? And he's right. You know, people who know how to score a fight, it was a close fight. It could have went either way. I picked Kovalev. I said Kovalev would drop him twice. You know, and I heard the stories, you know, from Mickey Bay and a lot of other amateurs that Andre Ward got off the canvas 1,000 times and came back and won. It wasn't new to him. You know, Kovalev was going out here crying and complaining, but he robbed Darnell Boone in the first fight. And his people even took it down from YouTube. It was so bad. You know, he robbed Darnell Boone the first fight. He really scored two knockdowns versus Sergey Kovalev. But you hear people talking about it? You know, no. You know, and it's well noted in the boxing community. he talking about he came back and he did what he had to do in the rematch. Exactly. Because you was able to do what you had to do. But as far as, people talking about Andre Ward needs to make the adjustment. Andre Ward made the adjustment. Kovalev did okay, towards the end of the fight. But Andre Ward really cleaned his ass up. And people talking about in a preview show that he's going to knock him out. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. The adjustments he need to make. At the end of the day, Kovalev is not a fighter that's going to make adjustments. Major overhaul adjustments. That's not him. Only thing he really needs to do is cut the distance and cut the ring down and inflict his will. But Kenny, who knows? But basically, this was the Crybaby Shuffle.